Magandang umaga, magandang araw, magandang gabi. Hello internet kaibigans! Ako po si Rachel, your favorite FILAM fangirl. Welcome back to our fourth, right? Yeah, oh my gosh, fourth of FILAM Fangirl. That is so crazy! If you are new here, go ahead and click this link to start catching up on these episodes. If you are not new here and this is your newest episode and you're watching and you're supporting, salamat sa lahat. I love you so much for coming back and supporting me every week.
Oh my gosh, my battery's running out.
I feel like that one character. Today we are going to be talking about, drumroll please, OFWs! Also known as Overseas Filipino Workers. Today we are going to be talking about OFWs because here in the United States it is Labor Day weekend, Labor Day. And the reason why we observe this national holiday is because it is a time to reflect and respect and detect that have contributed and have accomplished so many things and reformed our country for labor workers. I thought it would be appropriate to talk about Filipino labor workers that tend to go overlooked here in the United States, and not just here in the United States, but internationally, globally, around the world. So let's talk about it. An OFW is a person of Filipino origin who leaves the Philippines to live and work in an international country. I actually first heard about OFWs on, yes, you named it right, OFW. Yeah! If you are new here or you have no idea what I'm talking about, I have mentioned On the Wings of Love, hashtag JDean. Did I say that right this time, guys? Atwalista, yeah! I've mentioned it so many times in this video, but bringing it back. I first heard about OFWs because of On the Wings of Love, because the main character, Leia, Nadine Lustre, left the Philippines to go work abroad in San Francisco. So while I was reading up on it and researching it, I learned that OFW actually has many other different names that it goes by. OCW is another common one. There's also Balikbayans, Bayan, people who have been away from home for more than a year. Balikbayans are also former Filipino citizens who are naturalized in their international country now. And last one, this is the least common term used, Global Filipino. I have no idea where people say Global Filipino, but I just read it online. It was said in multiple articles. So if you're from a country that says Global Filipino, please comment below. Where are these OFWs? They are worldwide. So many OFWs out there. I'm really not exaggerating when I say they're everywhere. Statistically shown, there are 10.2 million OFWs around the world in 170 different countries. Mind you, I feel like that number is not accurate. The number should be higher. What I'm reading right now is from Google, but on other websites, they said 12 million, some said 11. Either way, we all know that it's a big amount. OFW. Because there are so many countries that are heavily populated with OFWs, I'm gonna go ahead and just list them on the side of me, and then you're gonna see that there's just so many different countries. If you see your country here, give me a whoop whoop in the comments below, because that would be cool. Love it when I see other people from other countries, and it's not just watching my stuff, but they're actually relating and they're not just from America, so it's so cool. I think I talked enough to let all that list of like all the countries go by, right? Yeah? Okay! OFW history and her story. Yes, we are going to include her story because it matters. If it seems like I'm reading, I am. From what I gathered, OFWs grew drastically in numbers immediately following World War II. Why is that? Since World War II, the Philippines went from being one of the richest countries in Asia, second to Japan, to being one of the poorest. Because of this, the recession and the escalated amount of poverty in the Philippines led their government to go to a quick fix solution, which is OFWs, and send them abroad in hopes that these other countries that they send them to will bring back income and increase the country's overall economy. Although after I did lots of reading on this topic, I came to the conclusion that the Philippines government's push towards Filipino abroad workers was just a band-aid to way larger issues that needed to be solved. Don't get me wrong, okay? Like, please. Wait. I already hear all the anger. I am all for OFWs, for people traveling abroad for work and helping their family out. However, the bigger issue that should have been solved back then at that time was the poverty, the crime rate, the corruption, and the lack of access to education. These are all things that should have been fixed before sending everyone off. Also, side note, I am not trying to bash on the Philippines as a country completely. I'm not like,
You suck, you suck, you suck.
no, I'm not doing that. If anything, in my own country, I feel the exact same way about the lack of access to education and everything. So don't get me started. There is like lots of things going on with the world that I could talk about for hours. In short, OFWs started because of a huge problem, financial, economic problem, and now it has become and evolved into this outlet for people to be able to pave their own way for a future. Regardless of how OFW started, I find it completely admirable for people to be able to go and sacrifice the time with their family to be away so that they can help financially and build a better life for themselves and for their families. Hats off to you. Who are these OFW people? Like, where can I find one? Where can I find one? Where can I find them? You ready? This is the list of all the OFWs that you probably were like, oh my gosh, I didn't know that they also did that. Doctors, engineers, nurses, hospital workers, physical therapists, architects, entertainers, teachers, seafarers, accountants, office workers, construction workers, restaurant workers, housekeepers, babysitters or yayas, caregivers, hotel staffers, students. The list goes on. While I did list so many jobs that are taken by OFWs, unfortunately the reality is that it is very common for many super skilled Filipino workers to take unskilled work. For example, if a doctor from the Philippines wanted to come to the United States and still be a doctor, she would actually have to jump through so many hoops just to be a United States doctor. Why? To get the appropriate licensure, she would have to have some number, whatever the requirement is now, of medical school again. On top of that, she would have to retake her test or challenge the board, and still, even after she finishes everything, she won't get paid as much as the doctors of her experience and schooling, on top of the extra schooling that she had to take. Ugh, that is so frustrating. These things happen. They happen here in the United States. They happen in other countries. And it's so unfortunate that it does, because these people who are trying to come to another country, they're already experienced, already finished with school. I'm like sweating over here. Moving on. If you don't know about OFWs and this is your first time learning about it, I feel the need to go over the widely known poor conditions that Filipino workers that have to go through when they're abroad. They have long hours, have low wages. Most of the time they're underpaid because they're paid under the table, and it's under the table because they're TNTs. And TNT in the Filipino culture means tago ng tago. And that is basically being illegal in the country when your visa expires. Other conditions that they face is the fact that they have few chances to visit their family. Sometimes they can't see their family for years at a time. Being a TNT, you can't travel or else you're never allowed to come back into the country. These OFWs also have to deal with not having HR or human resources to protect you from things like harassment, or not having access to healthcare benefits, or getting fired by your boss for their own personal reason. What I'm listing is just a few of the many conditions. It's just so sad. If it sounds all that bad, why do they do it, right? The biggest, most significant, most common reason is to support their families. A lot of times the pay in the Philippines is just not enough to sustain for a family. And basically anyone who is struggling in the Philippines is trying to survive. They are living paycheck to paycheck. They can't afford to get sick. There are so many Filipino teleseries that I have watched that show the life of the OFW. That one family member that gets sick, and then the other family member who is of age and willing to go abroad so that they can make more money in another country and then send it back home for medical bills and medicine. That's reality. Like, it's a thing. There's a movie about it, Anak. It's great that they're talking about it in the Filipino media, but it's something that also has to be talked about and reformed in other countries too. Because there's 10.2, maybe 12 million OFWs out there that are just dealing with these poor working conditions. Okay, let's turn this around and bring it back to a positive light. The reason why people keep doing it, back to it, is because they want to support their family members. They want to look for more opportunities for themselves, especially for parents or people who want to have children in the future. They become an OFW so that they know that their children will have a better, brighter future. And last, the reason why Filipinos continue to become OFWs is to go away in hopes that they can bring their family over to that country and just give everyone a better life. It's such a selfless thing, and it's so amazing what OFWs do, and I appreciate them. I mean, my grandparents were OFWs. Just hats off if you are an OFW and you are watching this from wherever. Hats off to you, because you're doing it for your family, and if not just for your family, for yourself. So I have no idea. I don't know what it's like to be an OFW because I've never had to do that, and I understand the privileges that I was fortunate enough to be born with because my grandparents and my parents made these decisions. But because of the Filipino teleseries that I have been able to watch about OFWs and my Filipino friends who have parents or grandparents that were OFWs, that is the farthest I'll ever get to experience with the culture of being an OFW. And I'm not trying to brag and be like, oh yay me, like I didn't have to go through that. No, I am making this video not because I'm trying to brag that I'm not or never had to deal with being an OFW. Let's get that straight right here and right now. The reason why I'm making this video is because it is my way of trying to spread more awareness about OFWs and hopefully encourage people who are able to speak out, like myself, because I don't have to worry about being deported or anything like that, to speak out for those who feel like they don't have a voice, or for those who feel like they have to hide. It's my way of appreciating OFWs for all the work that they do. I am making this video because it's just not talked about enough. And I know this because there's only a handful of organizations that are really supporting labor workers overseas. There are programs for OFWs, but even those programs are not beneficial to the actual individual who is an OFW. After doing this whole video and doing the research for it, now I'm seriously gonna go into looking for more organizations that support OFWs, more communities, and try to help out in any way that I can. If you do know any here in California, please let me know. I would love to help out in some way. Learning about OFWs really is humbling. That's what FILAM Fangirl is all about, right? I don't know why I'm getting emotional. Stuff like this and learning about OFWs is exactly why I started FILAM Fangirl. So I'm glad I got to learn about it. If you know more about OFWs that I haven't mentioned in this video, please comment below. I would love to read more about it. I do my best to comment back to every single person who comments on my channel. The amount of comments on all of my videos overall have been so amazing. I know today's video was more on a serious note, but you know, sometimes you have to get serious to get things done, right? Maraming salamat sa lahat. I am so grateful for you for watching this video. Oh! Before I forget, if you haven't done so already, subscribe to this channel. Here is the button. It is waiting for you. Bye.